Let's back at it again. Wait a second. That's gonna bother me. Can I shrink this anymore? No. I thought not. Okay. I'm curious, what does the detailed window look like in comparison? That would probably be better to capture, honestly. Yeah. That's a lot easier to see. It's fine. Uh-oh. I don't think this will make it. I didn't get nearly enough height. Because, just not getting that single jump. It is enough height to risk it gold. Actually, that's enough. And hit sun decides not to work. Do I have Scooby with me? Doesn't seem like it. Lost out of bounds already. There you go. Lost a couple seconds there because of just a tree wall being a dick, or wood wall, whatever. I don't know. Got here. Sorry about the jaw cracking. Wow, that is actually a big difference in Magic. Like doing one shot and then waiting, or not. But I don't know. Hard to say with the damage, because that is definitely a bit less than optimal, what I just did. Ugh. Pray to the Thelmuth Arenas. Yep. Gods. No, you fucker. Yep, it's fucked. It's super fucked. It recovered it somehow. Okay. Are you serious? Like, I was already losing time. Was that necessary? The fuck? Never seen that. Didn't know you could ledge grab back there. Although, to be honest, losing only 16 seconds after failing it, still having a run that's alive is kind of impressive. Angle is a bit off. Probably will lose time on the split as well. Just because that's kind of the nature of this level. Pirate fleet. Ooh. Okay, that was pretty dank. I need to use the flame charge shit there. So I need to do then horn down. I think someone whispered me. angle slightly off, but it won't matter. This is the one where everything matters a stupid amount. Uh-oh. Nope, we got it. Or not, because I thought I had a fucking melee, but it's like, no, no you don't. For no reason. Like, why? I've never... Oh my god. I had it, by the way. You cucks. Oh, now he's frozen there. Okay. Are you serious right now? Great, thanks for canceling the combo. This run's fucking dead now. Over that bullshit. That was a big load of freaking odd spaghetti the game shat out. There's lots and lots of odd spaghetti. Ow. Probably just gonna go after go to bed after this attempt, not go after bed to this attempt. It has been a very long day. Oh, there he is. Nice. What? I pressed jump, you little shit. That cost me a second, probably. But it's all good. That might have been a gold. That honestly might have been a gold if it weren't for it eating my input. got kicked out to the right a bit instead of sticking right to that wall, but it didn't end up losing us nearly as much time compared to my previous attempt. I had to be sure I was in the right spot. Couldn't really tell where I was. Excuse me? Alright. It's just me getting paranoid with the... having enough height here. So I get stuck. Got him. It's a bit shaky, but definitely very much still an improvement. Okay. Okay, fine. You fucking suck. You could I can't even tell what the fuck. Alright. That was like a waste of like 20 or 30 seconds though. Those odd like combo drops. All that potential time save. I might still save like 10 seconds. Yeah. I need to go back and actually figure out like what my setups were to actually hit his body during that combo, because I feel like that can lose a ton of time. I didn't get that for a moment. Okay, that's much better compared to the previous run. I was short a few hits. Lost like 10 seconds. That should be fine. Yeah. It's worth to use, like, shit tons of dragon time there, honestly. Just to ensure you get the skip. It's worth. Shit. Excuse me, he was already dead. That was an odd glitch. But at least I only lost 1.5 seconds. After all of that, so. I'm starting to wonder if it's better to not land there and just head straight for this ship. That's what I counted, so that's good. I knew it was gonna be like 2 off instead of 1. That was scary. Don't know if it's worth. I'm gonna guess not, judging by that. I said horn dive. Alright, whatever. Let's just focus on these skips. Hello. do that! I mistimed it. That looks better. It's still poorly timed though. I need to practice like just this skip, because this skip is the thing that single-handedly destroys runs. Like nothing else really. You only really want it for a moment. Fuck. Ah, shit, that scared me. Oh, we're losing time. Yeah. GG, lightning. Oh, don't give me that shit. Did that goddamn glitch. It's honestly partially luck. Whoa. Well, okay then.
Ready?
I think I'm way too tired for this. I'm thinking I've been acting like this PB is more free than it really is. It's really not. It's really hard. Sub 35 alone, you know, was stupid hard, so be unrealistic to think this isn't, you know.
Got to remember my training.
There, that's more like it. You have to delay it a second. Wow, that was perfect. Never seen a more beautiful execution of that. Now, what do you suppose causes that usually on the first thing? How about we wait till after? Oh. Okay. That was really odd. It's not one skip, it's the other, so... I mean, this whole thing is stupid hard to do, so... Whoa, what? What's that camera shift there?
Ready?
Yeah, I'll run this a couple times, and I probably never changed it to make it. Yeah, I don't want to be doing runs. Been doing enough crazy game shit today. Especially for how sick I'm feeling. Is it good if you just flash the dragon time? Oh. Oh, oops, that. Oh. What? Excuse me? Oh yeah, this glitch. What is my golden lightning dream? I'm gonna I might open later on a different split just to test for lightning dream. I don't know. Wait, could you potentially get up there without having to vortex a third time if you use the air melee? I feel like you could, potentially. What? Wrong way, you dingus. Wait a sec, did I just get another whisper? Oh no.
It's okay. We can try again.
That's just someone going live. Should remember to switch before landing. I feel like that helps. The game recognized. What the fuck? That was something else. Nice. So I think flashing dragon time is actually pretty fun. That and, well, the main thing really is just waiting on the R1. If, that could be true. If you, you are use more dragon time, the explosion delay might actually be after it starts going down, and therefore the enemy won't be launched as high, or, well, you'll prevent the enemy from necessarily that was bad. No, you do need to for this one anyways. There, like that. Let's see if we can get it a third time. Because making this consistent is what counts. So it's still the same timing on the electric orb. Just different timing on the horn dive. So yeah, has more time to get launched. That was always a big thing for that one, because that one is a lot more precise. You can't be doing that. Or that. Like, it's like, nah, I'm not gonna glide
Got to remember my training.
where I need to go. Oops. What the heck? Oh, it came in contact with the orb, so... Now what? Twitch place went live. Wonder how they ever did with that Hamtaro thing. Okay, so it's gotta be with the second half of the explosion, not the first. That's what I thought. Whoops. Yeah, that would have been it, but... whatever.
Look out, world.
Oh, don't eat up my... It ate up that. Yeah. Or does it have to be during the first? Whoops. Oh, right. Well, rip. I don't know. I'll investigate that a little more later. Alright. I don't know, man. Lightning Dream is stupidly hard as shit. It's like a couple frames that separate the different things that happen during double lightning jumps. It is ridiculously tight. Well, anyways, let's get in down to Mountain Fortress. It's gonna have a save there. Oh, I.
Goodbye, purple monster. Goodbye, goodbye. Thanks for everything. Well, let's see. Certain voices in your head led us all over the place, which has been great because we're having so much fun. And we're stranded on an enchanted island. Wait to see what happens next.
Rip. Hee 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 hee. I need to use that strat more. Costs a lot less magic too. Possibly route out needing a crystal for the fight. This boss fight. Whew. I should have done what I normally would do, test it out, but no, it looks like you still would need it. Oh, did I only hit the one? Because that's really bad. I believe I did only hit one.
How's that?
I'm amazed how easily I get that now. That setup is godlike. Having a setup for that damn, like, the skips in, well, I mean, like, I have setups for the skips in Lightning Dream, but they still have a number of variables that hold them back from, or that still keep them as a rather scary part of the run. I still want trials skip. Or yeah. As dead of a meme as it is. Oh, what up, Nala? Happy Halloween to you too. Well, although Halloween's over, I guess, technically, in my time zone. I held off my sister and I were gonna, like, we started carving our pumpkin, and then we both were real sick today. Yeah. Excuse me. We ended up not doing it. Yeah, it's been a good bit. What's up? Still got an hour of Halloween left over there. Nice. Now, being sick is no fun. Yeah, I've been coughing up phlegm all day, and I don't know if I mentioned it to you the last time you were here. I got the type 1 diabetes, and so my sugar and ketones, which is like this acid that eats away at your fat and then the rest of your body. Been having that even though my even when my sugar is normal, which is usually a sign that it's a very convincing sign that I'm sick. Usually. You think you remember me mention? I wasn't sure, but figured I'd bring it up anyways. So I was doing. I did a couple runs. It's currently almost 2 a.m. here. I was gonna go to bed at like 10 and get early sleep or whatever, but decided that sucks. Yeah, it does kind of suck a bit, but wait, can you jump on this? I don't think so. No, this spike doesn't have. I remember, so basically, you know, I got the sub 35. And there are still 2 decent chunks of time save. I might go for like a 33:30-ish maybe at some point. Or like I have been trying it a bit, and a lot of the factors to get it are kinda, they're both extremely precise and also fairly luck based. So I'm wanting to find out about a potential, or look once again back into potential changes to the New Game Plus route for this Mountain Fortress level here. So I just spent the last like 30 minutes. Well, first I was practicing Lightning Dream because that thing kills so many runs. And then I figured, you know what? Let's see if we can find a new skip potentially here. So, since you're acquainted with the route pretty decently, since you've seen the full world record run, it'll be fairly easy to show and explain, I guess. So the skip that we currently do, you know, we go out here, and this is a whole weird process that, well, I go through this whole weird process where I go through on this right side, loop around, land in some places, and then come back over here, and somehow end up over the over to where the assassin fight is. Now there's a lot of reasoning as to why that needs to happen. So what makes this level unique in comparison to the others is that, well, the level is technically, I mean, the level is in a way all of it's loaded, but certain elements of it aren't loaded all the time. So as far as the skip is concerned, the only ones that really matter, I'll try to see if I can show this off right now. I don't really remember okay. So this is a out of the way area you can get a bunch of height at from the start. So I'll just use this to like show off that me dying there was not just because of height necessarily. So there, I've gotten a crap ton more height there. Let's head over here on the left where I normally like loop back around in and head in towards the fight. You see there's still that invisible wall and death barrier there. Now if I were to, now admittedly that still wasn't enough height to reach the platform, because normally Spyro gets lined up like, yeah, let me, for explanatory purposes, let me put on mouse cursor. Okay, so you can't really see him from here, but there's a mountain spike like here and another one here. Let me here, I'll see if I get closer, if you can see them. Be kinda hard because of sparks right here. Okay, yeah, you can kinda see them. Alright, so right here, and shit, I don't know how to get a good angle for this. But like right there and there are two spikes in the mountain, and throughout in the current route you end up lined up at the height of those and between those, and that puts you right at the edge of the platform right before or right after the assassin fight. So that the thing is, if you the skip needs to be so precise, because if you end up a bit too far on the right, you're going to hit the assassin fight trigger that wastes a lot of time, like at least 30 seconds on most cases. Oh wait, actually it can soft lock sometimes because the area isn't loaded yet. Most of the time, if you end up doing that, and you you can head over on the right, but it's somewhat less reliable, and you also need to then avoid the trigger of the fight scene, or the fight cutscene, and then you also need to head over to the other side, not fall off, and find where the levitating platforms are. The thing is, there was a version of the skip where we actually used here, I could actually try to show it off now, maybe, but it involved using the wall of like the mount, or the room where you have to fight a shit ton of enemies right before. This game seems awkward to route out of bounds because so many visual parts to the level load in and out so erratically when you're not just playing normally. Yeah, that pretty much, that sums it up really well right there. What was I gonna say? Wait, can you just, oh. You don't have to loop around, you can just come out the top. New route confirm XD. I thought you had to go around the mountain. Here, I'm actually, here, I need to die. But yes, as far as the whole out of bounds process goes, you're entirely right. When you're moving so fast and like so high up, or well, you don't even necessarily have to be high up. You're going through the levels clearly in an unintended way, hence why it's called out of bounds. You're forcing the game to process things that either it doesn't really know, or like it doesn't know how to process, or it's never been expected to process. So like, alright, here, I'll be able to show off the old strat. Please. Oh! I remember the strat to get here now. I was like, wait, how did we get over here from just the out of bounds stuff? Oh god, I'll have to show that off. I forgot about that. That was so cool. That was one of the coolest strats. I'm freaking out and haven't even shown it off. Here, let's reload. But I mean, like, the game's obviously within the normal boundaries has its own load triggers that you know, they activate whenever. Oh shit. Okay, I have to fly back to the beginning, that's all, and activate the save point there. You get to see more of the lovely crap about out of bounds. I didn't figure this out for a long time, so I still would have to like reset and whatnot for testing. But I figured out within like the last, probably the last I don't know. It wasn't till at least after like the first 6 months, I guess, I realized this was a thing. This isn't like any different skip I'm showing. This is just kind of something silly with reloading files and the shenanigans of New Game Plus. But anyways, while I'm doing that, back onto that rant about how things load in this game. So like clearly here, like I'm way far above where you're intended to be. And you can see when you come by, like, pieces of things are loaded. Like, certain things load from a different distance, I guess. But, like, in the normal game, it doesn't matter because you just, wait, I've never actually seen, can you, like, use any of this to gain height? Nah. Alright, well, anyways, let's land here. This game, dude.
No way. I missed the opportunity to live out my yeah, boy. What am I saying?
He just went through hell and back. He's like, you ready to live out your worst nightmares again? Let's see. Let's see. You couldn't actually remember if this game saved your progress through a level if you quit. You remember if you quit new beginning in the middle of level. It would just start you back at the beginning of that level when you reloaded later. It was brutal. Yeah, so, saving in both those, both Eternal Night and New Beginning is like, there's, I kind of disagree with what they went with somewhat, because, like, they went with a system where it's just, like, it saves automatically at several set checkpoints through the level, which is a good idea to, like, have checkpoints that just it auto-saves at. Auto-save can be done well, I think. I felt like... Oh wait, no, New Beginning didn't do it that well either. Only thing is that, they'd have several large sections clumped together without, like, a real, checkpoint. And you have no manual way to save. For a while, I had thought there was a, manual way to save in Eternal Night because it's an able autosave thing, but all that does is switch what file you're autosaving to, and actually also copies the file, which is another thing they kind of screwed up. File management, they don't really tell you how to copy files, but Jesus, so much happens. It's so neat to actually, like, have someone now who's, like, interested in all the inner workings of this game, because, like, I technically know a couple others, but I haven't, like, actually had opportunities to speak with them. But the reason the reason that cutscene activated is because so whenever I had reloaded my save. I quit out and then reloaded it because I wanted to start back at the beginning and show the old strat since I remembered it. but you know, then I found it had autosaved at that other place. So whenever you load a file, several things happen, or I don't know if you should say necessarily that several things happen, but whenever your game is saved, there's several things it doesn't keep track of. One is your fury bar. Anytime you reload saved game, all of your fury gems are gone. Let me see, what else? Magic and health is restored. So, like, if you had depleted health or magic at all, those are filled up. Same with dragon time, of course. And a number of different things within the level aren't kept track of because it's assumed that you can't go back towards them. So like you know, once this cutscene is triggered, if you've only like, let's say I just load in the file from here, right? And I see the cutscene, and then, you know, I go about, and without reloading, I come back here. While the file is loaded, it remembers what cutscenes and certain, like, in-level things have been activated, like, if enemies have been defeated. Like, you don't just, like, walk to one place and the same enemy spawns there every time. And same for this cutscene. Me walking around on this platform now doesn't keep reactivating the cutscene or anything. So those sort of things are kept track only during the time the file is loaded, and are forgotten about whenever the file is quit out of in any way. So whenever you reload the game, that means that all the cutscene triggers and a number of the in-level aspects like enemies, gem crystals, doors, those are reset. Because, I mean, it's assumed, and for obvious reasons, you can't go back to those areas. Like, there's no way you can return here or any other sort of thing. You love seeing the inner workings of a game unravel as soon as you barely sequence break or go out of bounds. Dude, same. That's another reason I really have stayed so dedicated to running this this game in general. It's really opened my eye to kinda how programming works in a sense, if that makes sense. Well, I mean, I don't know how to or anything. It's more so it's a lower kinda end of the spectrum of the 7 or 8 careers I'm interested in, but at the same time, just exploring it in this way has given me a lot of insight into how games work, how their core of functionality is established. It's easier to understand how games work behind the scenes. Yeah, that sums it up pretty well right there. But yeah, anyways, that was really hard to explain, as is most everything this game, I guess. But, well, I mean, it's not necessarily hard to... I don't know. I mean, it is kinda hard to explain. You can't really simplify it very much. kind of why you love watching speedruns so much. You learn so much about the game just by breaking it. Yeah, I've shared the... I feel like I've shared that same sort of intrigue with them. But you're not dedicated to actually like another game. This, my involvement with Eternal Night just kind of happened, from the... Well, I mean, at the start, it wasn't, necessarily I was setting out to, like, be timing and seeing, you know, how fast I was completing the game or anything. I just had found several glitches and was curious how much I could break the game, because I realized, like, I had infinite access to Out of Bounds. And, just kept taking tiny strides, and it just, like, the game became more involved, and therefore, it just seemed like the next logical step after a while, because I was like, alright, I found how you can skip, like, a fourth of the game or something now. Let's see how much, or how long it takes to beat it now, and it just spiraled out of control. Oh, okay. But anyways, I'm gonna get back to that old strat, because it kind of helps show, I think, a bit of what I was trying to say about certain things loading in a certain... It's kind of like, if you've ever seen Pannenkoek, talking about, like, there's just a range of where things are activated, and I don't remember the setup for this skip at all. You remember way back in, like, 2000, whenever it was this glitch with Dark Spyro was first discovered, people made videos of playing with the ability, but no one ever really speedran it like this until instantly. You love Pannenkoek's vids? Yeah, dude, same. This... it's top-notch stuff. And yeah, I had only seen like one or two of those videos actually. Or no, I only found one. I had actually come across it on accident during the Gaul fight, because I was using ice in the previous fights up until then. So that had caused me to stumble across it. The lightning jumps, though, that's something completely unearthed by me as far as I can tell. But the Dark Spyro thing is clearly the main stepping stone to setting this all in motion. Ugh, I can't tell where I'm at. What was the old strat like, dude?
I better be a bit more careful.
Well, anyway, you can kind of tell just as I'm, like, flying over this area, certain... Oh, here, I wanted to reload the level, actually, just... because the bomb stuff being loaded is messing me up. It messes up a number of things. So, everything has a range within which it loads. That really only mainly comes into play during this level, as far as like how it limits how you can do skips. Because there are certain invisible walls and kill zones that are loaded during certain sections of the level, intended to keep players wait. Okay. It's been a goddamn long time since I've seen that one. Sometimes when you're flying over that section, it sets the checkpoint there, but it doesn't activate anything else, because you're like the enemy fight being initiated and whatnot, that's closer to the ground. But yeah, mainly just like certain kill zones really are loaded at certain sections of the level, because they were put in by the developers, intended to help keep people out, and also like it's just, you know, in-game boundaries measure. What? Oh. Okay, so I'm still too far to the left. But it's okay. It gives me time to kind of explain
Shooting some magic out of your thing.
the current route. So as I had shown earlier, there is a kill zone heading back towards where, out of bounds wise, the assassin fight is right behind it. So did it do the thing again? Yep. I had a... Oh, it's not that far to the... Okay. I know what I'm doing wrong. This is pulling some really old strings in my mind. So anyways, that kill zone is loaded, is there because like this front part of the castle, like the first couple rooms in it or whatever, that's part of the kill zone for like when you fall back there and whatnot. It just extends high up. It's just extra precaution and whatnot, really. There we go. That's right. It's like this. Or something like this. Or it's not like that at all. I don't know. So, like... Okay, so... This is really hard to explain, because there's like 3 or 4 different layers of things that are being... that kind of overlap in the front area. Like, okay, so... between, like... this like ring outer side of the castle, then like in the back where we go initially in our skip, and up here, those are like 3 main large chunks of the level, I guess you could say, that are loaded. The thing is, they all kind of overlap in a way, in that you can be within a section where parts of 2 different sections of level load. So like that, the assassin platform that we go to back there, like up around here, it's actually directly next to this whole area. Like, there's an invisible wall, and if you fly out far enough, out of bounds from there, you can actually, like, end up, like, back behind the beginning here, and, like, I don't know. It, like, kind of extends all around here, or something. So that's, like, the front part of the level, but the problem is that death zone I showed off earlier is also part of the front of the level. So we need to eliminate that death zone by deloading it, and the only way to do that is to head towards, like, this back section of the level. Then you kind of have 2 options from there. One is, like, how the game normally flows. Sorry, I just wanna... No. No, I didn't want to... Okay. Oh my gosh, okay. So I'm like... What the fuck kind of angle even would that be? I'm not... Okay, so... in case you're wondering what I'm aiming for, there is a bit of rock that sticks out of bounds, where that red and green gem cluster is, and I need to land there, basically is the start of this old skip. But anyways, so you have like two options, I guess, as far as surpassing that invisible wall. Yeah, there it is. What? No, no, don't do that to me. Come on. I don't know if I can reach it now. Oh, well, rip. So you can either go to, like, the room right before it, which... Oh, whatever, that works. I didn't actually know that was a thing. Since it's just taking so long, I'm just gonna get up there and explain how it used to work. Whoops. That works, I guess. Whatever. Didn't do a double, but it doesn't really matter. Okay, so anyways, what I was trying to do is this little rock formation here sticks out of bounds, kind of like out around here, and you can land on it, and from there you can collect health and gems if need be. And then what you would do is you jump around all these this rock stuff and die in this goo that this stuff that extends out of bounds, and that would spawn you right there, basically, or here, right? It spawns you here because this is a checkpoint in the level. Jesus, that took forever to get out. So this old strat, basically, you skip somewhat further in the level. Actually, with this, you end up here. Okay. And then you would come out over here, and there's a skip. This is how I first discovered, for the longest time in New Game Plus, this fight coming up was, this fight coming up, wait, what? Okay. You hate trying to perform a trick for any audience. Well, this is something I haven't done in like months and months. You hate trying to perform a trick for the audience. The other day, you're trying to show a friend a trick in Dawn of the Dragon, and conveniently Cinder immediately refused to perform the trick, and it just wasn't working. Oh yeah, there's like that infinite flight thing with her or something. I'm probably gonna end up running that after I beat it, because it's also getting a decent amount of attention recently. There's some like god tier runner that recently has been doing a shit ton of work with it. They just submitted an 100% run today, actually. That was world record. But like this whole room up here. Oh, right. I forgot how janky this could be. It's like one very specific little bit of hit detection. Right around here. Yeah. Like Spyro just like barely starts clipping in the wall, but there's like a bit of hit detection. And it's angled the right way that you can break through. But this room here, you fight a shit ton of enemies on this platform. That was unskippable in New Game Plus for at least the first half of this game's run. No, probably more like 3/4. It was actually decently recently. Maybe. The platform of doom, how you ate. It's literally the reason you haven't completed this game ever. Yeah. Hey. Why aren't I sleeping? Because I had slept so much earlier. And I was gonna go to bed soon though. Come on, pump. Okay. You remembered the trick because you've been watching that guy's speedruns of it. It's like if you slam down on the ground while in a certain area or state, it will launch you really high, let you sequence break pretty heavily, but it's not 100% consistent. Can take some finagling to get it to work right. And yes, that fight is the worst, definitely. That fight, Ravage Rider, Gaul, both parts of Gaul. That one other fight on the ship, not Scab, but like just that room before him. Those all suck. But anyways, so like for the longest time, I've been trying to find like there wasn't anything known about being able to skip to that other area, so like, and it just kind of made sense in a routing perspective that to warp there instead because it's furthest in the level. But on the inside of the room, like the walls are curved inward. Here, can I? So like the walls curve in like this, kind of like an egg, maybe you could say. So charging against them, you just get pushed down or go nowhere. See, the walls just kind of extend up. Oh, but so like for the longest time I was trying to see if there was any sort of collision anywhere. I mean like anywhere that I was able to use to like, I knew that I'd have to get at least up this that much height out of bounds to be able to reach Assassin and skip this fight. Now, of course, I had thought of just like jumping up to the door with double lightning jump, but the thing is that door actually, the hit detection in this room is extremely solid. You can't get out of bounds from within this room like at all. The only place it starts to, you see this like black space up above, that is where the hit detection stops in the room, and there is the platform height. There's that platform, there's the top of the door, so like still like another like whole room, I guess, or something. worth of height there that you can't get from pushing against the walls either. I had tried. There's a little arc in the rocks back here. I can show it off real quick because it's easy to get back here. There were a number of other places out of bounds I had found, or a number.
Shooting some magic out of your face.
Why? A number of other areas to clip in and out of bounds I had found. The only problem was, and I think I've said it before, your out of bounds movement and potential for skips in this game is limitless, provided you have the height for it. So like, whoops. So like another thing I had been testing around with for a while was spawning in here and then coming back around and this curved arc of rock is perfect to get height with. So you could get out of bounds here, and it's like slightly more height. You could also get some height off these walls sometimes. Oh right, because the reason was because what? I was like trying that all the time. Was because I needed a way to actually get out of bounds within this room. Because I couldn't really judge where the assassin fight was in relation to this area. So I had like found this. It was like just barely possible to get in there. In fact, that I almost never would get that much height. That was just because of me luckily bumping up against part of the mountainside that happened to push me up. I don't recall ever being able to find an area that worked consistently with. But oops, I forgot that's not something you can jump on. But anyways, this kind of gave me an idea initially of how I'd have to get up there. And for a good while it was kind of just like I tested a shit ton of things and none of them worked because it was an extreme amount of height necessary. Then, you know, I had messed with the collision of this door a bunch, you know, but this door actually seemed pretty solid with its hit detection, unlike most of the doors, because like the hit detection does extend all the way up to like that snow. But there's just at that one angle, like Spyro starts to like, there's a bit of detection that's a bit back and curved inwards. It was enough to be able to get in here consistently. It's just like barely curved inwards too, but like gaining height off of charging against walls is based on the angle or curve of them. So like that was the next like big like bit to that. That was like a huge deal. That gave us access to all of these walls from out of bounds, both visually and to mess with as far as like getting enough height. So then I had to test basically every single surface on both sides of this to find a pathway that would push Spyro up both consistently, quickly, and high enough up to actually reach there. And I'm pretty sure I remember it, so I'll show that, but the fun doesn't stop there, not nearly. Oh right, it was like, so like, the whole, like I had said, the walls inbounds here are all slightly curved downwards. So from out of bounds, that means the opposite. Any sort of hit detection, like inbounds, is reversed out of bounds practically, as far as like walls are concerned. So I could, and like, see that the other wall is much more like lumpy over there. There wasn't like any consistent stuff to it. Now I did have like, I think I used a supercharger, like I horn dived and combined the momentum to be able to climb this quickly. But what's odd about this is like, so you need to go, that was another thing, you need to go all the way to the left or right to reach this platform as well. But when you get closer to the door, the this used up a shit ton of magic too, so it's like stupid hard to route. But when you get closer to the door, the walls become like straighter enough to the point where eventually it starts like kind of pushing, or like you can't get any height off of it. So for a while I was stuck. Then I found this small section of wall from like here to here is just the right slope to keep pushing you up. So then I was finally able to get up here. Do you have any questions so far? Because holy shit. Oh, also, if ever needed be during that, you could hit this crystal from out of bounds and grab the gems if you were low. I forgot about that. So finally, I had found a way to reach the door. Okay? Just quietly listening right now. I had found there is like a very small, hard to get area where you can clip into this tunnel with the cutscene. I think maybe not for this door, but you can see it's right there. It's so close. See, like literally right here. Right outside this door is where the assassin fight starts. However, like I had said, these doors aren't activated by Spyro's presence. Like, it's not triggered by Spyro being near any of them. This pathway is only opened up if you do this entire fight down here. So even if you do clip into this tunnel, you can't clip past this door, which is closed, and so then you're just stuck and you either have to die to this or reset. Luckily that was never really a problem. But then, so we had that as a problem. How then do we get from here outside to this area to actually trigger the fight and skip all that nonsense down there? Oh, also another thing you had to be careful of when coming up here. These, there's two little waterfalls of, I don't know, whatever that goose stuff is that hurts you. And no, not falling down yet. And if they actually have an active hitbox. So if you hit one of those while coming up here out of bounds, you would have to scale this whole wall again. So lost, like, I think when I had fully optimized how to climb up this wall, it would cost 30 seconds at least still. So then, anyways, we met a new problem. Right, so back to that. The new question was, how can I get in over here? And I'm not gonna fly over because I don't want to use up magic turning around and whatnot, because I'm very limited, but because of the way the level's shaped, out over here the mountain ends, so you're not able to like loop around here and come back in. That's the part where out of bounds you're enclosed off. You can't gain any height off of. There was like a small bit where like there was an area around here you could. There's like a thin strip of like a couple surfaces you can barely start getting height off of. Like if you're jumping off of the tip of this doorway. But it was extremely inconsistent, and I knew I'd have to scale the entire mountain. And I also knew there wasn't. I knew eventually I had noticed after thinking through it a bunch, I just eventually hit the ceiling up there and still wouldn't be able to get back in. There's no checkpoint or anything up there that would let me pass. And by how like slow it took to climb just a little bit of this wall, which, oh right, I did manage to get like halfway up, because it turns out you can climb to the very top of this wall indefinitely, like till that black space I had shown earlier. But then you don't have anywhere else to go. You can't get any more height. So anyways, so going around this way wasn't possible. Going up and over wasn't possible. Going under wasn't possible. 'Cause there's a death zone right there. I can't show it, but like, the area where like Spyro would die by falling is pretty much just right below that ledge there and extends all the way around this area. So then I knew the only other choice I might have is getting around here on the left of this cliffside and swooping in back towards here. I had tried. Note that I tried also all of the all of the collision on this mountainside as well. So all okay, so like anything below where like this ends, so like all that and that as well all got tested. So anyways, from here, using the extra height granted by this little doorway, tried and loop around into the level. And I got met with a new problem that there's actually an invisible wall past the edge of this mountain. Right? I can't really show it because it's an invisible wall. Oh, there we go. So like here, I got past the mountain side. Like, I'm in front of the... Okay, there, that's much better. So like, see... The level should be right here. I should be able to climb back into it. I know I did lose some height, so this isn't as accurate of a representation. But clearly there's something pushing me out of here. So this whole room is where the fight takes place is literally encased entirely with invisible walls, and no foreseeable way to go around it. At least, wait, what?
It's okay. We can try.
I need to take a quick break after that. Nope. I'm sorry. I will finish up. There's only one more part to that explanation. But Jesus Christ, why? You saw what happened. Here, I'll sit here still, but oh my God. What? Clip that, please. Cloning in Eternal Night confirmed. Here, let's bring up the... It's only fitting for the end of it. Right, here we go. Now I can properly finish up my explanation. Alright, I hope you can hear that. If not, I'll put it through the... If not, I'll put it in my song bot. Pannen 2.0 confirm. Alright, so let me get back up to where we were first. So now I was presented with a new problem. Within this back area of the level, I can't do this, dude. Within this back area of the level, there were too many invisible walls and factors preventing me from reaching my intended goal. However, this did not stop me. I tested every polygon on the floor and ceiling, and fuck me. To see which ones would give Spyro a height boost. I'm trying not to die of laughter, because it's 2:50 and I don't want to wake people up. It's so stupid. So while I'm getting the height, though, to get back up there, I now knew that going back behind, or like, that just straight up going back and through to the fight was not possible. But I also knew going through from the fight, or going through from the front was impossible, since it's kind of... So this skip kind of lingered in a bit of a confused state for a while, since there were factors from both sides of all sides of trying to enter being restricting us from getting there. From the back, we had the door and mountainside and the frontal wall. Then from the front, we have the death zone. So then, I'd realized in order to get around that, I'd have to... There was still, theoretically, there could be a clear path to the front if, and only if, I could both deload the death zone at the front and deload the invisible wall at the back end. Right here, this crucial combination of death zone and invisible wall was kind of where I would later come to realize is a bit of an overlap in where things are loaded in the level. So out of random, during one attempt of trying to loop around, I had lost my way, and here. I had ended up going out really far, back out towards the front, where the heck? Oh, I went, okay. Where is... Come on, man. Oh, that's right. You didn't have any visual... That's fucking okay, there it goes. So, I had seen the front area load. And I was like, oh, well, shoot, I've gone too far, or whatever. And then scooped around here. I realized I had a lot more height and whatnot. And I started to see the snow. And I had landed here. And I had finally managed to break this barrier. Wait, where's the assassin? Oh right, he doesn't spawn. This is a soft lock. Well, not a soft lock, but I had actually landed, I think I had initially landed, like, down here. There's, like, secret, like, feather or something down there. But anyways, this now brought about a new question. What caused me to be able to skip to here? As is probably plaguing your mind too. And here, let me just kill off the assassin so I don't have to think about them. There. So I knew somehow what had to happen was I avoided both the death zone right at the edge of the frontal area of the level and the invisible wall that encompasses, and just to prove it's there. See, I'm pushing against a wall right here. This space between right where this line is and this, like, this is actually where the beginning of the level is, where you first spawn in. That invisible wall is designed to keep you out from the rest of the level. So what ends up happening, and what is required for this skip in order to work, is because of this overlap right around here within the level, parts of both bits of the level are loaded. So you get this. So by exiting into the frontal part of the level, the very back area of this is deloaded, which is the invisible wall. However, this section of the level behind it, which is this platform with the assassin and whatnot, stays loaded. And however, since I'm still in part of the back area, the death zone isn't loaded entirely for the front part of the level. Because you're just barely on the cusp of both of them, and by turning back around, before the death zone can load, you're able to come over that, have no invisible wall, and then land here. That was the first version of the skip, and then the one in the current route is just a way that gets height faster, and it's just more, it's just a quicker setup, basically. But that was the results of all that testing and everything that went into trying to skip that fight and skip to assassin, finally led to the discovery of how, like, I already to some extent knew how things would load in and out, but did not realize that they could overlap or have strange interactions with each other like that. So because of all that, I was finally able to skip that fight and reach here. Alright, no more. Oh, God. I just listened to that for 11 minutes. Does that explain how this skip works? Because enough of the front is loaded that the game's like, there's no need to have this invisible wall loaded, but enough of the back is loaded. You're kind of like just midway between the two, and so enough of the back is loaded. The death zone for the front couple rooms of the castle, the game deems unnecessary. You loop around. You feel like you just watched an unedited first take Pannenkoek video. I feel the same. Oh my God. That's why for the longest time that fight stayed in New Game Plus. It was the only bit of fighting in New Game Plus, and I wanted to make it my goal to make the category strictly focused on movement and out of bounds, and I managed to find a way to barely surpass the abundance of limitations that seem to be keeping me out of it. So that's for the current route. Now the other like main ideas, I guess, for other potential skips in this level, which I'll show, and the reason I wanted to talk about that is because in first coming here and thinking of older skips, it made me realize like that the whole idea of deloading certain barriers might actually play a big part in this skip, or like just potential skip, I should say. I hope that wasn't too long-winded. I really had to pull a lot of old information back into my head at 3 in the morning and try to piece it together. Reasoning, like I made sure I was able to like describe this information and everything was because I knew it might be applicable to later skips for myself, like it might be now. So real quick, I'm gonna do the regular, like, well, I'm not gonna bother with the entirety of this skip. I'm just gonna hit the cutscene trigger. Hold on, I know you sent a message. It's not like you have anything else to do with your night. You've been playing video games all day, might as well cap off your night with watching video games. Plus, it's interesting. I'm glad you enjoy it. I was glad I could randomly be online when you were up. I had several New Game Plus runs that were robbed of being sub 34, even like 33:30 for a couple of them. But anyways, so this was something I actually found, I think just like last school year or something. This is like the most recent potential major discovery besides the new trials thing. You think, how did I do? Okay, yeah. And this, well, that and the skip where instead of doing that cutscene, you go up and over this ceiling and fall back in. That skips that cutscene and whatnot. That discovery stemmed off of this. So this dragon statue actually is pretty similar to the one at the beginning of the game, in that we can use it to get out of bounds, lol. If it ever cooperates, you can get out of bounds with it. Come on. Let me out of here. There. Now, here actually, I might head over to yeah. This area is really good slopes. So, well, a couple things here. One, there's randomly 3 rock platforms out of bounds right on up here. And it is barely possible to get on them. I forget how. But anyways. Oh wait. I did it. I don't know why they're left in. Like, you can't even see them from the inside of the level, so it's like, I don't know. It's really odd. But from here, I managed to head out this way. And there's the final fight. this is when I promptly lost my shit, and woke up my house when I first found this. However, for fuck knows what reason, this whole, like, big cone volcano has hit detection even up here where this beam's coming in. Now you'd think, oh, maybe that's not really a problem, like, because the final fight is right there. Literally right there. And you could just float down into it. Well, thing is, you can, but yeah, I didn't realize it was in the same world space as the Mountain Fortress either. So, like, just a couple months ago. Or something. Ridiculous. But, if I hadn't died. Oh, also, I can't reverse the images anymore, or, like, the visuals. But it gives me a good way to talk. If I, instead of, like, falling in, there is a death zone around there, obviously. You can fall and then go between that and then fall into this room. However, Gall isn't there, and there is no way to activate Gall or anything. I have tried using a Final Smash. Wow. Fury Attack there as well as Dark Spiral and other things to see if you could, because, like, the end of the game, the final cutscene, one of its triggers is the Fury Attack thing. Although, now that I think about it, it might not be the Fury Attack itself, but the fact that it's the Fury Attack is programmed to, like, Dark Spyro's Fury Attack is probably programmed to deal enough damage to one-shot Gall 2. Because you can trigger the cutscene without doing the not Final Smash, lol. But that doesn't put in the fight. So, this is the highest point in the level, and there isn't anywhere I can clip in up here. I'd have to get, like, all the way up here, probably, to be able to fall in. There's nowhere on, like, the sides or anything. This is all solid. Can't go under, because you have just death, and then the second arena. And the thing is, theoretically, if you could get in to the Gall fight from out of bounds, you could break the restriction of having no magic, potentially, because the cutscene is what triggers that. But at the same time, since you don't go down here to fight, like, going down here doesn't, like, Gall isn't there waiting. Certain bosses are only available, are only, like, you can only fight them after their cutscene. Like, the cutscene tells the game to spawn the boss in. However, with bosses like Arbrick, they're in the level and just load when you reach that area. However, Gall 2 is not one of those. So it's probably likely the same with Gall 1. Although I can't be sure because... Well, actually, I kinda can be sure, because I've jumped all around. There's a bunch of hit detection where, like, the seats around, like... There's a bunch of, like, seating where his other ape minions sit. You can jump around those and whatnot. Normally, if a boss does spawn just by going near the area, like with Arbrick, you would be able to see them and their health bar would be on the screen, so Gall doesn't spawn in there. It sort of makes sense. After all, Gall gets a fully CG cutscene to introduce him, while Arbrick's intro is in engine. You can see CG cutscenes being used as, like, markers by the game. Yeah, I mean, I think I've said before, the only, like, real restrictions with New Game Plus is you have to load, you can't skip, like, only one level is loaded at a time, or like, one of the large areas that I refer to as the 6 levels, aka Temple, Grove, the Falmouth Arena, Pirate Fleet, the Trials level, and then Mountain Fortress. The only thing that can cause, like, all of New Game Plus's routing is based around the idea of getting the one thing, and that one thing only, or whatever is minimally necessary to load in the next level. So, like, level 1, you have to do the assassin fight, because that triggers, or, well, no, level 1, technically, you have to fight those apes at the end, then you have to fight assassin, and that cutscene happens. That cutscene is what has the game load in the next level. Ancient Grove, you have to defeat Arbrick. Arbrick activates the cutscene that allows Falmouth Arena to be loaded. Falmouth Arena, you have to beat Scab, which Scab doesn't have a CG cutscene, and he isn't there, by the way. I don't know. And so on and so forth, and so that's a good thought, like, connecting that to how that might be used for bosses as well. I mean, I've thought about, like, the whole trial skip thing, how I've talked about. I don't know if you've seen it, but I did this, like, 2-hour discussion one stream about why trial skip has been, is, and most likely always will never be a thing. And that just has to do with the fact that you like just can't reach the chronicler cutscene through regular out of bounds means and whatnot, so, and anything else that would lead to it by extension. But anyways, Let me show the other, like, I'm not really sure, because, like, I'm not exactly sure where that level, or where the Gaul area stuff, like, lines up with the rest of the level. Like, it's... Oh, wait, yes I do. It's in the backmost part of the level. So it doesn't really seem like there's much, as far as, like, potential, like, overlap, with, like, what's loaded and what's not. Any of that shenanigans being possible at all. So tired. Okay, there we go. Wait, how am I gonna get back to the beginning? This poses a serious problem. Well, anyways. The reason I know it's in the back is that, like, mountain I use in the current route. I push up, you know, where the apes throwing TNT is. Those TNT, barrels. If you, instead of going towards the front, turn around and head, back even, like, further behind where... Oh. Another potential new route shit right there. Over here, let's get to the beginning. Oh. I need magics. Sorry, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so if you, like, go and use that, and then head behind the invisible wall that you normally, like, that same invisible wall that you use to climb and do that skip to get to Assassin early. That invisible wall exists to actually separate the Gaul arena from the rest of the level. Wait, how many CG cutscenes are there anyway? There's only like 4 or something. Let's see, there's one at the beginning. There's one at Felmouth. There's the Gaul, and, like, there's 2 Gaul ones. I don't think there are any others. Where the fuck is the beginning? that's... God, I'm tired. See, there's the electricity stuff that's from the beginning of the level. There we go. Now I know where I'm at. Or pretty soon here I will. There you are. Home sweet home. This is so freaking useful for routing. Ah, there we go. Let's just make sure. Yeah, I'll show you what I mean about the gall section being in like the back. And then I might head off. Because now I'm realizing I don't... Every time I go to like look at the skip, it's like I don't have any other ideas to how it could potentially be found. But just for proof as to like its location, to give an idea where it sits with the rest of the level. What the? Ah, so the rest of the mountain hasn't loaded, then you can get in. Shit. Rip. Ugh, I accidentally closed chat.
Why don't you try shooting some magic out of your face?
That is ultimately... See, this is just proof of the ultimate limitation of New Game Plus. And that is height. Height will always be the deciding factor. Don't die. But don't want to die yet. Okay. Oh, so by the way, what this is just like this whole mountainside has a bunch of hit detection. That's pretty obvious. And then you get out of bounds and you loop around to the outs, and since you're out of bounds, you're outside of that section of the level, and then this is the giant invisible wall I was talking about that encloses you into that section. Shit. Then if you head over here, somewhere over here, there it is. And there's the second thing. As you can see, no gull 2. And yes, it is possible to get in through the top from there. Wait, no. It's barely not, I think. I don't know. Well, regardless. There's proof as to its location. And I'm realizing I actually have like no ideas for how I could get to it, so do you have any ideas based on everything I just talked about the last like 5 hours? It feels like now about 3.5, because I'm really cold and sick and I don't really have anything else planned as far as I could technically do runs, but it would be like so pointless, and like I was already extremely tired. I was doing runs earlier. They didn't go well. Doing runs when you're tired is just a way to exhaust yourself, and it's painful. It's not enjoyable. You only do runs when you actually feel like it, you feel motivated and you have the energy to do so. And then routing wise, there isn't really anything else I can look into right now. Go to bed to work on being less sick. Alright, one last question before I leave then. Like with both you and like seeing that my most recent any percent and New Game Plus world record VODs have gotten like 100 views collectively or so, like it's made me start to realize like that this whole time, like, you know, well, I kind of thought but never really put together. Like, people are legitimately interested in it. Like, it is a bit niche, but it's not like I'm the only person. Like, it's been for a while, or like it seemed for a while, I should say. And I feel like I should oh my god, Sums, are you legit? Are you legit? Are you Okay, anyways, I'm considering, like, I did make a YouTube channel, just to, like, certain random crap videos, like, wanted to see or subscribe to or something. And then I had uploaded, like, when I did my first speedrun submission, I had uploaded on there. But I'm thinking of, that, like, I don't care for how YouTube works at all right now, but I should manage an account in the sense of, like, posting my PBs and, like, videos and stuff, like, just everything related with my Twitch channel. I wouldn't be, like, posting other content on it. I'd still only be, like, primarily Twitch. The YouTube channel would just be, like, some of the Twitch content, just on a different videos, a different source, only for the exposure, because YouTube would is just so widely used. Maybe only 65% of the time, sums. It's just like 236 where you're at. But you'd sub to a YouTube channel if you had one for this, dude. Well, I do have one. I just haven't. And I had documented a bunch of stuff early on, and then just mentally documented a lot of it. So you're eager to see how this category and game in general go in the future. Honestly, it's a lot of its routing and whatnot is already, like, done by me. I, like, didn't I mean, like, after my initial, like, speedrun.com stuff and the YouTube and whatnot, it didn't really seem like there's enough of a reason or anything to, like, put out any of my resources or whatnot to those people, because there's never really any, like, I've been, they got added, the Sprash community was the first one I had joined on Discord. I had asked them about how to, like, get in, submit my first run, but I never really felt it was, like, big enough for I don't know, it didn't seem to spark the same sort of excitement after the initial stuff, maybe. I don't know. I mean, that's probably also partially my fault for just not posting runs, but that stems into another bunch of problems that kept that from happening. Like, I was still doing runs, but posting them was tedious. And the career outs happened all the time. But I know I'm definitely gonna make tutorials for them, because it's probably at least like there's like 2 or 3 people at least now that want to learn it, probably, or Well, there's at least one lol that I know for sure. So you're saying be a good idea to get these things on YouTube as well, merely for the exposure. Alright. I'll get to work on exporting a bunch of that. Within November and December, I think I'll make that my goal, to have a decent sort of new not even a channel, it's just kind of an archive of Twitch and Eternal Night stuff. It's making you want. You used to play them non-stop when you were a kid. You should go back and beat that damn. There's literally only after that one platform fight we were talking about earlier, the platform of doom. There's only the assassin and one other large fight, but that one isn't nearly as bad as. I mean, it's bad, but it's not. I don't think it's as bad. I feel like you should go back to it and beat it, honestly. It'd be really cool. That's the most frustrating thing about it. You knew how close. You can never get past it. Yeah, it is rather annoying. If I had to make a suggestion, I guess just what wins those fights is crowd control. You need to be. It's not about damage output. It's not about. I don't know. That and being able to maneuver in and out of danger, even though like a lot of there's a bunch of times where you're like guaranteed comboed to death. Using Dragon Time, even while in hit stun, is useful because it makes opponents' attack slower. So if you like get hit and then stunned, there's a small chance, or there's a bit of room for what normally would be a perfect combo to become, for you to like have a bit of time to double jump away or something. And always be sure they have that platform with the that lower platform with the gems clusters on it there for a reason. Eternal Night requires a lot of patience, careful planning, good movement, good attack choices, and crowd control, and running in and out of fighting to go get gems. You need to be able to balance all those things to beat this game. I know so from utmost experience, and wish you the best of luck, because it took hell of a lot of research, time out of both me and my friend, who we're both big on the Legend of Spyro series with. anyways, especially appreciate. I've heard a lot of opinions saying, to try get it on YouTube, but I just knew it was gonna be a bunch of work, and I don't want to do it if it's not like worth it. If it's not gonna do anything. But I just feel like you kind of just you're just more related to or more connected with the game and said it about it than other people I've gotten to ask, I guess. And so it just helps to have another person of that perspective. So I mean, it wouldn't be any different than what I've been doing. All of this was done myself. So anyways, I think I'm gonna head off. I'm gonna try to get some sleep, try to get better. I might lurk in someone's stream for like a couple minutes before bed. Let me see what I might host. I was gonna use mobile to host, but I'll keep chat open on mobile in case anyone has a message before I go. In the next few days. Yeah, I missed school today because of being sick, and I'm probably gonna end up missing it. Or, I missed yesterday's school. I'm probably gonna miss today's school as well. Thanks for the stream and the Pannen explanation. Heck yeah. That was really fun getting to talk about how that all works. Now let me see. No, I didn't want to click that. Let's see. Who can we host? Teal is heading live soon, it seems. Yeah, I'm gonna host Teal. Teal Game Master. Seems he's doing Toy Story Racer 200 Soldier Speedrun. And it's apparently 11 hours, so he needs our support. Raid message is, let's see. Isn't the first time he's done the run either. here's the raid message. By the way, here I will get it copied myself. I want to see a couple spam of that before I host. Actually, get rid of the item. Gives it really good exposure. Alright, I will try to get it back. Level loading radii? Yeah, let's do level loading radii. Alright, here, I'll retype it. Alrighty. Alright, it's host time. Hope you're ready, Nala. Here we go.
Hello. Oh, there's a. I think there's a raid. I think I've been raided. I see. Hello. Oh, actually, give me a second. Is my audio outing? No, it's good. Okay, so, hello. Welcome to this. What is this? It's a speed run. No, I'll allow it. It's a raid. I will allow a raid. But yeah, this is